Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Derek is in San Diego. Hi, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mr. Ramsey. How about yourself, sir?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Glad to hear. Basically, I wanted to discuss my current situation with saving money. I'm 28 years old. I make about 105 at my current role and another 25,000 in side work through flipping items. And I am saving about $3,000 to $4,000 every month after all my expenses. I don't have like a car loan or anything of that nature. And sometimes I worry that, maybe I'm not enjoying life as much as I would like because I'm just so focused on saving money and budgeting and calculating my net worth every 2 weeks. So I just wanted to get your guidance on when you really decide and how you can tell that you need to start enjoying life more with the money that you've saved.
Yeah, one more time. You got 25 coming in on a side hustle, and what's your core income?
My W-2 every year is $105,000.
Okay. So you're making like $130K with your side hustle.
Correct.
And you're saving like $4 a month. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I think that's great. One of the reasons that we walk through the baby steps is it kind of gives you guidance for each area of your life. And then it also, not only the guidance, but it gives you the permissions to do what you want to do with your money. So in your case, if you have no debt, right?
You have no debt at all of any kind.
No, I don't have. I have a car that's 18 years old. And
do you have any debt of any kind?
None.
None at all. No student loan.
My father is taking care of that. That's an agreement we had.
How much is the student loan?
It's $16,000 total.
Whose name is it in?
It's in my father's and mine.
If it's in your father's and yours,
there's no such thing. It's either a Parent Plus loan in his name or it's in your name.
I believe then it technically is in my name.
Yeah, I think technically it is.
If it's in your name, you got to pay that.
Kind of like you're in debt. Yeah.
You got to pay it off.
Like technically.
Okay.
So how much money do you have saved? Like how much money do you have stocked aside?
Well, saved right now, I have about $130,000.
And how much is the student loan?
16.
It's about $16,000.
Good. Pay it off today.
Pay it off today. Now, your savings, where is it? Is it just sitting in a high yield savings account?
I have some in some Vanguard accounts and then also 401k and about $60,000 in 2 bank accounts.
Okay, so the $60,000 that's in the 2 bank accounts, pull some of the $16,000 to pay off the loan.
How much credit card debt do you have?
None. I just use debit. I've been following you for a long time.
Okay.
Well, sorta, yeah.
So then you understand the baby steps. So are you already investing 15% or more?
Yes, more than that.
Okay. Where do you live? Are you renting? Are you owning?
I currently rent.
Okay. So now that's why I was saying before, we're using the baby steps to figure out what we should be doing, how we should be spending. So at this point, if I'm you, instead of overfunding the 15%, I'd probably start focusing on a down payment. Because at some point, you're going to want to stop renting. You're going to want to have control over that biggest line item on your budget, right? You don't want to rent forever. Rent is going up. It's always fluctuating, right? So if I were you, instead of doing over 15%, I would stop that, cut it at 15%, and then I would take your extra margin, put some of it to a down payment, right? That's baby step 3B. And then you get to decide how intense you want to be about this, right? You can decide if you're going to just go hard in the paint, or if you want to pull back, it's like, you know what? I'm young. I got, it doesn't have to be that intense at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're running on gazelle intensity, and now that your student loan is paid off, you don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. So here's what I would do. I'd pay your student loan off. Your dad has promised to pay it. I heard you loud and clear. He can pay you back. If he wants to pay it, he can pay you.
Deal.
But I don't want this in your name anymore. I want it gone. So you pay it off today. So your $105,000 in savings has been reduced by $16,000. We'll take a portion of that and allocate it to your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. The rest of that you can allocate as a down payment. Now, back to your question, when do you enjoy life? Now, you need to budget some fun in your budget. All you do is save. And you need to have some fun in your budget. And you need to have some generosity in your budget that you don't have too. Mm-hmm. You need to be helping some other people.
Right.
You make $130,000 a year. You're 20-something years old. You don't have any debt. Yeah, you ought to have some fun, and you ought to save some and invest some. and you ought to have some generosity. You ought to always have all three things in your budget once you're at your stage. Okay? So for the rest of your life, like Derek, when Sharon and I get a check in from a publisher or something these days, it's extra money. We have a formula we apply to it. Okay? We take out, 40% for taxes, 10% for tithe, that leaves 50%. Now, then after that, because rich people pay all the taxes.
Man, when you said 40%.
None of the taxes. Let me help you with that, okay? But anyway, aside from that, so then we apply the other 50% goes to three things, and we have a set percentage for more fun, more generosity, and more investing out of that other 50, okay? Like one of my friends does that. He puts 30 in investing, increases his lifestyle by 5, and puts 15 into extra generosity, and that gets you to your 50. Okay, so you work it out. But my point is not necessarily the percentages, or even that you have to have a formula for it, but you ought to always have all three in there.
Absolutely.
And if you have all three in there, then you've got a pretty good balanced life. Because once you're out of debt, other than the house, which you are today because you just paid off your student loan, if you really follow us now, and then you have your emergency fund set aside. Once you're past baby step 3, you go from intense, which is what you've been living, to intentional. Intentional means we're investing some, additional generosity, and additional fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and you can, so if you've been wanting to upgrade the ...
The car.
That's the fun.
Because his car's old.
Yeah. Okay. You're driving a beater. Then let's upgrade the car, and you probably have the money to do that above your emergency fund, even after you pay off the student loan today.
Yeah, he will, because he had at least 60,000 sitting.
He had 104.
Oh, that's right. But some of it, I think, was invested.
Oh well, but was it invested in IRAs?
He said 401k.
Oh, was okay. We don't touch that.
Yeah,
401k.
don't touch the 401k.
Yeah, no, okay. That's
good.
Yeah, but either way, still going to end up being the same thing. So, good question, sir. Good question. Thank you for joining us. So, guys, the things that we teach, they're everywhere. I mean, you go through Financial Peace University, you get a detailed line-by-line thing of, okay, make sure what you guys talked about on the live stream the other night, you and Rachel, make sure you don't have a $3,000 tax refund.
Right.
Okay, adjust that. That's one of the things we teach. Make sure you're not sitting on whole life insurance. Make sure you're not sitting on investments that are non-retirement while you're sitting on debt on the other side.
That's right.
Cash that down to $1,000 and get it all clean, start throwing it at your debt. Make sure you're working your debt snowball smallest to largest, balance, not
That's
interest
right.
rate.
Interest rate doesn't matter.
Make sure you're on a written budget and in agreement with your spouse. There's about 8 or 10 things like that that you do, that you go through. If you say you're following us, then you're really doing it.
That's right.
Okay, you're doing the baby steps. The baby steps say when you're in 1 through 3, temporarily stop all investing while you're in baby step 2, getting out of debt, and while you're getting your emergency fund built.
But here's the thing.
All investing, not just down. I sort of follow you. You can't, you're either doing your thing or you're doing our thing, okay? So this stuff works, but every time you dial back one of these 8 or 10 things and don't do that, you slow your butt down.
Well, and you mess yourself up.
It just slows you down.
It's a prescription. When you go to the doctor and they say, you're sick, here's what you need, and they write it out for you and you take it and cash it in, you don't go and choose, I'm going to take that one, I'm not going to take that one. You know what? Don't give me that medicine. Give me this one. If you do that, you'll get sick and you could die.
The number, I read this the other day. What book was I reading? I guess it was Jordan Peterson's book. I was asking Deloney about this. I couldn't believe it. The number of people that go to the doctor and the doctor gives them a prescription that never fill it.
Yeah, I know.
And then the number of people that fill the prescription and don't take a stinking
Come
one of the pills.
on, man. You're messing with your health.
So what was the point?
What was the point?
I went to the healer to do nothing that he said. That's dumber than crap. I do not understand.
Take the prescription.
Doctors. I like doctors, but I don't want to go see one.
Okay.
People die over there. I don't want to go see them. But I want to. But if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do what the guy said.
Take the medicine.
God, I do not understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so do this stuff exactly. Not because it doesn't affect me. We don't make more money if you do. Just it's good for you.